So in this video, I'm going to go over an asynchronous online oral exam format using Microsoft Teams that I've come up with in case it might help other instructors. So in the age of generative AI, such as ChatGPT, it's become very difficult to do online tests because it's very easy for students to take questions and give them to ChatGPT or some other generative AI and get pretty good answers back. Now, if you try to do a synchronous online oral exam, where you ask students questions live, one-on-one, that's going to be very difficult to schedule. Because if you have even, say, 55 students times 15 minutes in oral exam, that's going to be approximately 14 hours of testing. That's very hard to fit into 1 to 3 hour class or exam times. Now, what you could do is an asynchronous oral exam, and I've got a little way to do this with Microsoft Teams. So what you can do is make a private channel for each student in a Microsoft team. Then you start the test at a particular time, like 7 p.m. sharp or whatever, and you have the following procedure. You have the students start whatever programs they need first, so X and Y programs, whatever they are. Then the student starts the meeting in a private channel in Teams with their camera and microphone shared. The student turns on record and shares the entire desktop. The student then starts and completes the quiz in the learning management system in 15 minutes or less, and all the questions are answered orally, and there's no saving or submitting files, but students might be asked to open and alter file content as part of the test. Then the student stops the meeting. And the tests are then marked using the videos that are saved in each private channel. And in terms of the pros, this is going to be far more scalable because we can do this simultaneously. We're going to have recorded meetings, which are good for grade challenges, and it's going to be much easier to schedule. The con here is we can't ask follow-up questions, but this format is far more scalable. So then as the instructor, before the test, you would need to create a private channel in a Microsoft team for each student in your course. Then, before taking the test, the student would first open up whatever programs are necessary to take the test. So say for example, Visual Studio Code and Draw.io. Then the student would create a meeting in their private channel with this button here. They would have to have their microphone set to on and their camera set to on with background filters set to none. Then they can click on Join Now to start the meeting. Then they would flip on Record by going to More, Record and Transcribe, and start recording and confirm. Then they would share their entire screen. Then they can go to the quiz and start it. As an instructor, I'll have to go to Preview here. And then Start Quiz. And then from there, they can answer the questions in the quiz orally, one at a time. And you may have some questions which require students to download and open files, like for example, this question here. And what you can do is just have the students open up the files and not actually have to save and submit any files. So for example, they could open up this file here, and they could open up this file here. And obviously the file content would have to be kept pretty small and pretty short, but they could be expected to make modifications to these files, and the modifications could be marked right from the video. So no submitting files or saving files to save time as well. Then when the student is done, they would click on Stop Sharing, and they would end the meeting. So go here and then end meeting, like that. And then the recording is going to appear here. Now it might take a minute or two for the recording to appear, but eventually the recording should be here as it is now. And the exam can then be marked right from the channel. Now, if you're going to go with this format, I would suggest posting a video where you go over the setup steps. I would also suggest having a sort of practice test before the actual oral exam itself to give students a chance to actually practice this process themselves to alleviate any stress the day of the test in terms of the technology. The test questions will need to be geared to this kind of oral exam format. And it's not like this format is perfect or completely prevents cheating, but it's a big upgrade on many other online testing formats.